other point I want to really talk about is development. Like in my experience, when I do leadership coaching, for example, I have to deal with multiple stakeholders. So I have to deal with somebody who is the actual person receiving the leadership coaching. Then I have to deal with his senior management. I have to deal with the supervisor. I have to deal with the HR. Each one's expectations out of this coaching engagement are very different. So, for example, the guy who's getting coached would be wondering how he will grow, what is the value to him, what is the effort he needs to put into this whole thing. Whereas his leadership would be wondering, should this guy be coached or should I recruit somebody from outside? Does it meet my organizational requirements? Whereas the HR guy is looking at, does it fit into my leadership development model? This guy the guy who's delivering it, he got a right coaching background. Does he have the right governance mechanism in this place? It's not only at a time of selling, but some entire duration, life cycle of the engagement, and to ensure that all these expectations are being met, addressed, and managed. I know in development sector it's far more complex. You have the donors, you have the end recipients, you have the governments, you have the implementation bodies, you have the public at large. What is your experience of handling, managing what went right, what went wrong, and therefore what can be done better in this space?
No, you're right. I think the stakeholders are many. And unlike in a corporate scenario, maybe it's true for corporate also, there is also a political angle to it.
That's right.
Right, and there are brownie points, there are who gets communication credit, plays a big role. So I think a parallel, which was ringing in my head when you were talking, you talking about my example. When we worked with the Andhra government and we looked at the health department and we said, it's just not delivering. In fact, poor people for whom the department is supposed to serve are increasingly not taking their services. 90% of services are delivered by the private sector. People are paying out of pocket. So we said there is a radical reform required to make this department actually deliver to the people, because it is people's money which is being used. Now, who was the person who approached us? It is the UK government, DFID, who said we'll fund you.
The donor in this case.
World Bank, which is the kind of the persons helping reforms, said, we will be the coordinator.
Okay.
And they said, we need to do a functional review. I was like, what do you mean? Every review has to be functional. What do you mean functional review? They said, no, that's the way we assess departments. Right? So then I looked at the methodology. It was too basic. So we developed our own methodology where we spoke from people who cleaned the offices right up to the secretary. And did a series of interviews and things. And one of the things we even established is a FIB index. How many people in a classical department actually work, and how almost 25% of people actually carry 75% of the load, and they work extremely hard. Some of the government people, and those who don't work have a extremely interesting array of strategies they use to avoid. When we presented all of this, it was very, very political. In that management, to go back to your question, DFID would want to say, what is the investment I can make in this to make it better? World Bank would say, how many mistakes can I find to make myself relevant? Right? Not in a negative way. Then they can
each one have their own
expectation. Now the couple of lessons there, and believe me, it was not a straight line of things. We made a lot of mistakes. I think when we unpacked it from various people's angles, and sometimes there were conflicts, I think my team was pushed to the corner. We said, who are we working for? Are we working for DFID who pays the money, or are we working for World Bank which is giving us guidance? We are doing this assignment for Andhra government? Answer was no. It is what is good for the people for whom this department has been set up to serve. And that provided us a lot of clarity. And what was again important was not to climb the high chair and to claim that we are the noble partner in this, to say we are the conscience keepers, but to keep that very humble view that does this benefit what everybody is trying to do. And in the Ricardo Semler's book and this framework, he talks about extreme stakeholder management, which is about continuously engaging and aligning interests. And I think that is something we do through workshops and really challenging people and saying, I begin my workshops by bringing in one of the poorest families and or playing a story about a poorest family and say, are we working for these people or for us? Let's be clear. We may be in a 5-star hotel, but this is our customer, and she or he or that small boy going to get a solution from us. I think those really help us kind of bring people together much more.
Interesting, because I think all these stakeholders' needs are to still, because they are answerable to their own ecosystem. So yet still a DFID has to go back and answer that my money has been put to full use. The World Bank has to seal that my interventions have been right.
Yes.
Government of Andhra Pradesh should have to probably do something with their own, and the user still has to get benefit. Do you think in development sector people are putting this structured stakeholder management, or is there a room for it to be really worked upon? Because I found that even in corporates, this is not done well.
Yeah. No, I think when you come down to
it's more reactive. I can put it that way. Yeah.
It is reactive. It is also there are some people with more power than the others. Then that tilts. So people with.
But you'd have a strong objective to it. Like you said, my larger objective is the end users.
Okay.
So keeping that objective, then you balance everybody.
We have to balance. We have to find answers for everybody. We'll also have to find, as you rightly said, wins for everybody.
Absolutely.
That is to me about people and relationships. Secondly, about systems and mechanisms where people can resolve their differences. And thirdly, continuous reminder of where are we headed and why are we there. I think those three have generally helped. But also what has helped is a higher percentage of very honest and high integrity people on the
Absolutely.
Right? And that always makes a difference. Right? And people are able to reflect and to say that, including us, to say, hey guys, we're probably approaching this the wrong way. And here seems to be a better way to do it.